Just wanted to make a quick video about the settings for the Switch 2 if you have a LG OLED TV. I have the LG CX or the C10. I'm just gonna get in right to the settings. I've seen a few videos out there that were going over settings and they were pretty wrong. So first thing, we'll go in system settings and we will go down to display. HDR output, you want it to be on. TV resolution, you can put it on automatic. On mine, the 1440p doesn't highlight, but when you have it on 120 Hz, it should automatically default to 1440p. So just leave it on automatic, it should be fine. Dock output, that's just telling you information right there. You want to put RGB range in full range. Adjust screen size, you can do that however you want to. Screen reduction, burn-in, turn it off. Match TV power state, turn it off. For right now, I have my 120 Hz output off, just because right now I don't believe there's any games that I have that support 120 Hz, so I'm having it off for right now. Until more games come out, then I'll put it on, but keep that off for now. Auto low latency mode on. HDR output, now this is going to be the very important setting for you guys. So you want to have it to compatible software only. That's the one you want to always have on this setting. You want to have this on at all times. But I'm going to show you something when you're setting up your HDR, your auto, when you adjust your HDR and when you set your TV up. So if you have it on compatible software and then you go into your LG settings, so we go all settings, and then if you go up to your picture mode settings, you're not going to be in HDR, especially when you're on the home menu. You're not going to be in HDR right now. It's only going to say you're going to have your game settings, so we put it on game, but it's not going to be in HDR because we are only in the compatible software for HDR output. So there's two settings you have to set up here. So you have to set up your TV for this setting for the compatible software, so that way when you're playing a game that doesn't have HDR, it's not gonna activate HDR. So you have to set up all your TV settings for when it doesn't activate it. Then we're gonna switch it to HDR output only, and then we're gonna set up our HDR settings there too. Most tutorials do not go over that. Most tutorials just tell you to put it on compatible software only, and then they don't tell you that this has to be on HDR and regular non-HDR. So this is our non-HDR settings right here. So you're gonna put it on game, click on that. I have mine set to 100 contrast, 62 brightness, 0 sharpness. Make sure it's 0. You don't want to put that any brighter. I mean on any number. I've seen videos also talking about putting it on 10. No, just leave it at 0. Color, you could do whatever you prefer. Mine, I have it on 53. Mind you, this is the non-HDR settings. So basically my non-HDR settings are almost like HDR settings. So colors 53, tint 0, advanced controls, dynamic contrast off, super resolution off, color gamut auto, gamma 2.2, white balance, we're gonna have warm 2, method 2 points, and point high. Everything else you can leave alone. Color management system, I don't mess with those. Now we go back. Now we go to picture options. You can't do anything when you're in game mode right here, but your black level, you want to put that on low. If you have it on high, then the colors are not going to be saturated, they're going to look faded. So keep that on low. Don't put it on auto, put it on low. Motion eye care off. So those are the only two options you have in non-HDR right here. So now we're going to go back out. Keep your aspect ratio at original. Energy saving off. Additional settings. You're going to put your HDMI Ultra HD Deep Color. We're going to click that on. Instant game response, you want that on whatever HDMI input you have. And AMD FreeSync Premium, I just keep mine on even though the Switch dock doesn't have VRR at the moment. Putting that on doesn't do anything bad, so you can keep that on. OLED screensaver, I don't mess with that. Okay, so that's my settings for non-HDR games for the Switch. So if you look at how my menu looks, hope it's not as clear on the camera as it is in real life, but you can see how saturated my colors look. On the camera it looks a little bit oversaturated, but trust me, it's not. It's very clear, not faded at all. Now we're gonna go do the HDR settings. So mind you, the TV is not gonna click on HDR settings. So if you are trying to adjust your settings for HDR and you just did the first steps, that's not HDR settings. So now you want to go to display, go all the way back down, and right here you're gonna click on here and you're gonna hit for all software. When I click that, the TV is gonna turn black and then it's gonna be in HDR settings. So it's turning black, and at the very top you see HDR. Now let's go back into the TV settings, go to all settings. Now if you click on here, now it says HDR picture mode. So now everything you do here is just going to pertain to your HDR mode. So these are different from the settings we just did a couple minutes ago. So for this one I have OLED 100, contrast 100, brightness 50, sharpness 0, color 48. I put it on 48 because it seemed like there was oversaturation of red, because remind you, we're using the low black level on the HDMI, because I want really saturated colors, but I don't want to overdo it. So I keep mine on 48. You can adjust that to 50 if you like, but 48 to me seems perfect. Advanced controls, dynamic contrast off. This is very important, guys. Dynamic tone mapping, you need to put that on HGIG. If you do not use HGIG, you are not getting appropriate HDR content. So I don't care what anybody else says, you need to have this setting on HGIG, dynamic tone mapping. Do not just have it on or off, you need it on HGIG. Super resolution off, auto gamut auto, you can't do nothing about the gamma. White balance, same like last time. Warm 2, method 2 points, point high. Color management, leave that alone. And for the most part, we're done here. We're gonna keep your black level low again, and your motion eye care off. Now if you want to see how the black level looks when you have it on high, look how faded it's gonna look. It looks really faded. You can set up all your settings with high if you'd like, but I found that I can never get my colors, especially on the Switch, I can never get my colors to look like the appropriate color. They always look faded. So low is the best way to go as your base level, and then you can adjust all your settings from that. But if you just follow exactly what I'm doing, you should be good. Motion eye control, eye care off. Same thing, aspect ratio settings original. I also have where it says just scan auto. Energy saving off. Additional settings, same like last time. You're gonna have HDMI ultra deep, deep color. You want that clicked on. Instant game response clicked on. AMD clicked on. This I have it on. Is never gonna click on that mode, so you can have it on or off. It doesn't matter. This is more so like if you have a PS5 and you want to play like a 4K movie, it'll automatically switch over to filmmaker mode. So you can have this on or off. This doesn't really make a difference. And that's pretty much it. You should be set up now. As long as you have those base settings, you can adjust any other settings that you want to your liking. But right now you're in HDR mode if you hit for all software. So you make sure you set up both settings for all software and for compatible software only. You got to set your TV up for both settings, because that's when you're going to be 100% ready to go. A lot of people online I saw said do not use HGIG. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. So definitely you need to use that, because that's a specific setting for video games. And then there was another setting that I saw people doing, screen burn-in. You don't need that on because your TVs have timeout and screen burn-in protection, all that stuff, energy saver. Even though we clicked it, the OLED screensaver off is still gonna automatically dim. Match power state off. So that's it, guys. Let me know if this helped you out. Get some good picture, at least give you a good baseline of picture, and you can make all your adjustments as you need. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. But I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.